Coming up on Let's Get to the Points.
I have these two new cards.
Ooh. Miguel, you got the credit cards. Serena, you got the new Hawaiian credit cards. I got the Hawaiian credit cards. Nicole, are you going to be getting the Hawaiian credit cards?
So I'm one of those late adopters. I gotta wait till the kinks wear off and I jump in.
Now, is that worth paying to earn 4,500 Alaska miles per month? In my perspective, yes. That is essentially paying 1 cent per mile to buy these Alaska miles.
What is your favorite thing about the Alaska Airlines mileage plan program?
I'm excited for the boba.
And now, let's get to the points. She loves traveling luxuriously for a fraction of the cost. It's Serena. He embraces every travel experience, and he proves adventure is found everywhere. It's Miguel. She teaches you and your family to travel on a budget while indulging in a little bit of occasional luxury. It's Nicole. And he loves using his points to fly some of the world's best airlines in first class. It's Mitch Shannon.
Hi there. Thank you for joining us on Let's Get to the Points video audio podcast, where we bring you the very best in tips and tricks in the world of miles, points, and travel. I'm Mitch Shannon, joined by my co-hosts who love traveling the world with their families using their credit card points and miles. First up, the biggest celebrity she's ever met is Lucille. It's Serena.
Hi, everyone.
He's been known to buy miles, fly for way less than full fare, doing it too. It's Miguel.
Hey, what's up?
She may have yet to fly Starlux Airlines, but she is booked with Alaska miles. It's Nicole.
Hi guys, how are you?
Please help us out. Click the subscribe button now below to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you watch or listen. Also, don't forget, sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's where we drop some great tips and tricks, and we send it to you every Friday. Are you guys ready to do it? Let's get to the points. Okay, if you watched our show last week, then you know what tonight is all about. It's about Alaskan Airways.
Is that what it used to be called?
Airlines?
Nobody's going to correct me on that?
Exactly. I think, yeah.
It sounds weird.
All right, well, maybe tonight, how about we do this? We go into depth about Alaska Airlines, their mileage plan program. We're going to cover it all from their credit cards to status, being part of the One World, and their newly announced merger between them and Hawaiian Airlines. Also, we're going to take a look at a few points redemption sweet spots, including some One World redemptions you may want to have your eye on. Plus, with one of the very few airlines left that offer a distance-based program, could this be the best program out there for earning your miles? We're going to talk about all that and more, but before we get started, Serena, you don't look like where you're supposed to be. Where are you?
I'm not at home. I am currently in the Seychelles. I am at the new Waldorf Astoria, Seychelles Platte Island. We just got here yesterday. Our villa is beautiful. And we're going to be here for 5 nights, so I'm looking forward to it.
Serena is exactly where she's supposed to be.
I think so too.
Okay, Serena, how did you get to the Seychelles?
So first I flew Q Suite, of course.
Of course, no big deal.
But this one, no big deal. This was my 3rd time in Q Suite, but my first time in a window Q Suite, and I really loved it. It was a lot of fun. This itinerary was special because I flew from San Francisco to Doha to Muscat. And the Doha to Muscat leg is business class, but it's coded as first class, which allowed me access into the Al Safwa lounge, which is Miguel's favorite lounge.
The best.
It's also my favorite lounge as well now.
Oh, that says a lot.
You know, maybe we should have an episode about the best lounges in the world.
I'm all for it.
I think we could cover that.
We will talk more about lounges in the future lounge episode that we'll have. We first went to Muscat, which is in the country of Oman. And if you remember, I was in Oman in June, but I didn't leave the airport. This time we were able to leave the airport, and I stayed for 3 nights at the Alila Jabal Akhtar in the mountains of Oman, and it is a gorgeous resort. This property is perched on top of the mountain and you have very beautiful canyon views. You know, Nicole talks about having an eat, pray, love trip. This is the kind of place where you go to do that.
Which one did you do first? Did you eat, Pray?
All of the above.
Fall in love.
You could do all of the above there. So we had a lot of fun and a lot of great experiences. But one of my favorite experiences was being recognized by Casey and Megan. Casey and Megan are viewers of our YouTube show. And I was so happy when they came up to me and introduced themselves. And truth be told, they didn't recognize me. They recognized my husband. Because they saw our anniversary episode with our P2s. So they know what Parker looks like. They weren't sure if it was me or not, but when they saw Parker, they knew for sure.
Did they think he was out with somebody else? I know him, but I'm not sure who that is.
It was really great to meet you, Casey and Megan. I hope that you had a wonderful flight home in Q Suite, because I know you were excited about that. Thank you for sharing your trip with me, and it was fun getting to know you. So if you ever see us during your travels or at home and you see us out and about, don't be afraid to say hi. We love talking to people who are into points and miles as much as we do, and we would love to meet and chat with you. And it's just so fitting that I met Casey and Megan at a Hyatt.
Where else did you expect to meet them? At a Hilton? Serena, how did you get from Oman to Seychelles?
So we flew in business class from Muscat to Dubai on Fly Dubai. And I will say that was not a great experience.
I was like, I didn't even know they had business class.
I think Fly Dubai is the low-cost carrier in Dubai. It was a 45-minute flight, so it was very short, but there was absolutely no legroom. I felt so cramped in it. So it's not something I would choose again. Maybe if it was a different aircraft with a different configuration, I would. Thank goodness it was only 45 minutes. And then we had a long layover in the Emirates business class lounge. And then we flew here on Emirates on a 777 in business class, which is my daughter's worst business class product. But I had a very comfortable experience. I think the seat, although it doesn't lay flat, it is angled instead, it was still very comfortable for me. So I would definitely fly it again.
How long is the flight from Dubai to Seychelles?
It was about 4 hours, so not too long. There's no direct flight from Muscat going to the Seychelles, so we had to go in a roundabout way. So it took a while, but we're finally here, and now we can relax here for 5 nights.
And do you have any plans? Are we going scuba diving?
We are going scuba diving. We'll be snorkeling. We'll be looking for turtles. This island is famous for the turtles that come onto the beach to nest, and a lot of them are nesting right now. So we're hoping to see a lot of turtles on the beach. And when you come here in December or January, you can see the hatchlings come out and make their way out to the ocean.
Okay, Serena, what I really want to know about is exactly where you are right now. So you're in the Seychelles at the new Waldorf Astoria. How is it? Because it's a new property, right?
It is. It just opened in January of this year, and it is beautiful. The experience starts as soon as you land in the Seychelles airport. They treat you very nice. You can relax in the lounge, and then you jump on this little propeller plane, which I know you don't like, Mitch. It's a short 20-minute flight over to this island. And as soon as we landed, I received a drink and they took us on a tour. It is beautiful. And our villa is gorgeous. There's a living room, the bedroom, and a bathroom. And then we have this outdoor patio area with our private plunge pool. And then there's this pathway that heads out to the beach. For 130,000 points per night. With Hilton, you book the 4th night and you get the 5th night free. It's a great deal. And these rooms run for $2,000 a night. And we are so lucky to be able to use points and miles to stay at places like this. I just feel so fortunate and so blessed because this is the stuff travel dreams are made of. And for us to be able to fly like this and stay in hotels like this, it's amazing.
So another dream come true, Serena.
4 more nights here to enjoy, so lots more to come.
Serena, I know Q Suites is a favorite to book using American Airlines miles, but we haven't seen a lot of availability lately. So how did you book your Q Suite?
So if you guys remember, we all flew in the Q Suite quad together. And in episode 60, we shared some of the best ways to book Q Suite. For my ticket from San Francisco to Doha to Muscat, I used my mom's American American Airlines miles and booked my ticket for 70,000 American Airlines miles. And then for my husband's ticket, I used my Alaska miles to book his flight, and that required 85,000 Alaska miles to book Q Suite for him. I didn't have enough points in one program to book the both of us, so I made 2 separate reservations, one for him and one for me. And I booked these flights the same time that we booked our quad Q Suite flight, which was back in November when there was a lot of award availability for both Alaska miles and American Airline miles.
I've noticed that there's more award availability if you redeem Alaska miles for Q Suites, because on Seats.aero, they even have a specific filter where you could pay like 2 times the price with using Alaska miles that are not available with American Airlines miles. So if you're willing to pay more, if you need a specific day, you do have that option with Alaska miles, even if you do pay more.
I'm very excited for this episode because I can't wait to dive into the sweet spots of using Alaska miles to basically fly all over the world.
Nicole, is that because you have some new Alaska cards that you've been using?
Shiny new Alaska cards.
Shiny new Eskimo cards, right? Got the Eskimo on the front.
I didn't even know what that was, but yes, I do.
That's right. It's got the Eskimo on the front, and I think they've got the Hawaiian lady on the Hawaiian card. I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
They do have a version of that, yeah.
You know what they're gonna have? Me on one of their flights.
Wait, are you talking about an Alaska Airlines flight?
Alaska, Qatar, Condor, Fiji, all the same thing, 6 of one, half dozen of the next.
So we are going to talk about all the different ways that you can use Alaska miles to book all those fancy flights that Nicole's talking about. But first, Mitch, take it away.
Well, Miguel I think he was looking for his card. Did you find it or no?
I have these 2 new cards.
Ooh.
Yeah, I chose different designs for mine too.
Yeah, I wanted to see the different ones. They have a couple of different designs for Hawaiian Airlines. So they are soon to be Alaska miles.
So I think that's a good place for us to start tonight with the merger news with Alaska and Hawaiian. What do you all think about that? Getting all these credit cards now for Hawaiian Airlines?
I know, I better jump on the ship because last time you guys did all the Starlux thing, and I was like, I don't need that. Now look at me.
Just get another ink card.
Yeah, Nicole. Just do you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm one of those late adapters. I gotta wait till the kinks wear off, and I jump in. But
You don't want to be the guinea pig.
It's okay. Better late than never.
sometimes you're too late, you miss out. But don't worry. All I need for you to do is hit like on this video. Don't forget to subscribe because we are gonna make sure that you're up to date, that you're not lagging behind, that you get all the information that you need.
And I should add that the first time we talked about this merger was when we were in Napa and we filmed our holiday episode. That was the first time the 4 of us were together. And I remember being excited because I wanted to turn my Hawaiian miles into Alaska miles. And now we're here almost a year later and we can do just that. So my Hawaiian miles dreams have come true. How about you guys?
It's almost like we're fortune tellers. We can see into the crystal ball, and you can see into the ball too if you tune in every Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern time.
I think this merger is great because there's no major banks that you could transfer points from into Alaska directly. So with all these sweet spots that we're going to talk about later, it's great to have another avenue to earn Alaska miles through Hawaiian Airlines.
I'd say things have been moving much faster than I kind of originally thought they would because it's been, 10 months now? And especially when you compare this back to when they had the merger with Virgin America. So a little history there for you. I think it was 2015, 2016. Alaska purchased Virgin America, and there, they merged the 2 airlines into one. And I honestly can't remember how all that went with the credit cards, but I do remember it was the exact same situation that's going on right now. Both airlines, they were offering the credit cards at the time, and then all of a sudden, the Virgin credit card, it went away, and all those Virgin miles converted right into Alaska. So here we are, Hawaiian Airlines, they're offering 2 credit cards, the personal and the business. So obviously, Miguel, you got the credit cards. Serena, you got the new Hawaiian credit cards. I got the Hawaiian credit cards. Nicole, are you going to be getting the Hawaiian credit cards?
Nicole will be getting the Hawaiian business card soon.
So which cards did you guys get?
I got a couple of the personal cards because the personal cards are offering 70,000 miles after any purchase. There is no minimum spending requirement. All you have to do is pay the annual fee and make any purchase and you get 70,000 miles. The business version was only offering 50,000 miles, and I need at least 70, 75 for what I want to do, which is maybe Starbucks again. But 50 wasn't enough. I'm way past 524, so I really don't care about getting the business card to stay under 524. So I just went for the personal version.
I did the same. I got the personal version for every single one of my players.
Damn.
Every single one. With no consideration toward 524 and not caring about it, because these miles are so hard to earn. I might want to fly Starbucks again too one day, Miguel. How about you, Mitch?
Funny thing, I've kind of been watching this merger, like paying attention to everything that's going on. So right before it kind of finished, Barclays was offering the business card at 70,000 miles for signing up and spending $2,000 within the first 90 days. Nicole, I think we talked about this and everyone was looking at me like I had two heads. Like, why are you going to get this card?
That's because we're talking about the A&A card and then you brought this up. So we're like,
So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull the trigger because this is a business card, 70,000. What's the worst that could happen? I could end up with 70,000 Hawaiian miles, but it's a business card, right? So I've gotten the business card for 70,000 and we just got 2 personal Hawaiian cards as well in our house. So yeah, another 70,000 right there. That's kind of always been my philosophy on these cards when these mergers kind of happen with these airlines is I look at it as a missed opportunity that you could have had a card that you will no longer have anymore.
We talked about this in our newsletter as well. We mentioned the 70K business card offer. So that was out there. If you were subscribed to our newsletter, you would have known about it and also jumped on it too. So well done, Mitch, reading our newsletter.
this feels like Starlux all over again.
Well, this is another Starlux flight for everybody here. So
Yeah.
you need to get on it.
Well, I do have enough for 4 Starlux flights. So I'm like, do I need to rush it? I'll report back. Within the next 30 days, I will have a Hawaiian card.
The business one.
Hopefully. Let me be honest. This is all Mitch's fault. I would have had tons of chase points if Mitch wasn't like, you have to go to Park Hyatt, Kyoto, blah, blah, blah. Look at me now. I was fine with hot dog water. Mitch was like, you remember? Do me a favor. Don't forget to get the pizza, blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff.
Did you make your monk reservation, Nicole?
I did not. That's where I did.
I knew you didn't. I knew you didn't.
I know. So here is my thinking. I do have an offer for a business blue. That's a American Express business card. They're not going to run my credit. I'm already pre-approved. It's going to give me 50,000 points. And I'm like, all right, let me just do that in the interim. Maybe the Alaska card will go back up to 70 and I can have the 50 plus the 70. If I totally miss out on the Hawaiian card, at least I have 50,000 American Express points that I could use for Alaska or I could use for something else.
Nicole, can you please explain how you're planning to turn those American Express points into Alaska miles?
Currently, American Express transfers to Hawaiian Airlines. And right now, we're not sure how long it's going to last. You can take your Hawaiian Airlines miles and transfer them to Alaska at a rate of 1-to-1. So when I earn these American Express points, transfer them to Hawaiian and immediately turn around and transfer them to Alaska. Since this is a transfer with a domestic airline, American Express charges a small fee to transfer points, which is about 0.6 cents per mile. So I transferred 70,000 points and it was $42, which I thought was well worth it. Serena, on the other hand, might be like, $42?
I've done it before, so.
The good thing is that there's a cap on that. So it's 0.6 cents per mile up to, I think, $99 is the cap. So if you transfer something that it would be more than $99, that's where they cap it anyway. So that way you max out the fee and get the most bang for your buck.
All right. If you were considering transferring your points to Hawaiian and then to Alaska, we don't know how long this is going to last. So I would suggest do it sooner than later and don't be a late adapter like me and miss the gravy train. Okay. Also, I would be cautious of speculatively transferring. I say if you have a redemption in mind, definitely go ahead and transfer. Just know that there is a risk in transferring it and not having a plan.
Speaking from experience, Nicole?
Yes, I have 160,000 Virgin miles just looking at me.
And I'm guilty of it too.
Which could have been Alaska miles. You know what I mean?
Cries in orphaned Virgin Atlantic miles.
A moment of silence for the passing of those miles. Let us know in the comments if you have ever speculatively transferred points because you saw this amazing transfer bonus. Maybe you got to use the transfer on some redemptions that you were planning, or maybe, like Miguel and I, your miles are just sitting there hoping for an opportunity to spend them. I really like to know the stories of all of your transfer bonus and whether this speculative transfer actually worked out for you.
I'm literally praying for redemption.
You and me both.
I think we probably need to use those points to go on a Virgin cruise or something together.
Good idea.
Yeah, that was an option when I did transfer them. So I'm waiting for them to come back with a pretty good deal to do that.
You know, the best deals are out of the best coasts in Miami.
Said no one ever. Okay, enough about Virgin. This is an Alaska show.
Back to Alaska and their credit cards.
Okay, Miguel, so let's take a look at the credit cards that are offered by Alaska Airlines because they are really good friends with Bank of America, and that's where you're going to get these credit cards from. So they currently offer a personal card and a business card, and we've seen elevated sign-up offers on both cards over the past couple of years. I think the highest that we may have seen is up to $75,000 for signing up with the Alaska Visa signature cards. And if you fly Alaska Airlines, they come with some great benefits. So let's take a look at some of those benefits if you actually do get the card and you want to use it on Alaska Airlines. So probably one of the biggest benefits is the free checked bag that you get for yourself and up to 6 additional people on your reservation. That's going to save you some money right there with the annual fee if you do fly them and you do check a bag. You also get priority boarding, which is Group C on Alaska Airlines. You get 20% back on all your Alaska in-flight purchases. And you can also get $100 off an Alaska Lounge membership if you want to get one of those. They also give you that $99 companion fare, and we talked about that in last week's show and about good redemptions that you can do with that certificate. There are no foreign transaction fees with this card. You get 3 miles per dollar for every Alaska Airlines purchase. You get 2 miles per dollar for every eligible gas and EV charging, cable streaming service, and local transit that you make. And then you get 1 point per dollar for everything else. Their miles do not expire on active accounts either. Something else pretty interesting, if you are an Alaska Airlines flyer and you're looking for status, this year they're offering a promotion for every $10,000 that you spend, and this can be combined with their personal and business cards. They are going to give you 4,000 qualifying miles for your 2025 status. So don't worry, Nicole, I'm not going to do this. No one's going to do this. But if you actually spent $50,000 on the Alaska credit cards, you would actually get MVP status without flying at all. But that's not going to happen because, MVP status, that isn't that great. But if you are nearing one of those tiers, it might make some sense to get that additional 4,000 miles towards your qualifying status if that is important to you.
Mitch, I have the personal and the business version of this Alaska card from Bank of America, and I really don't use them anymore. After I met my minimum spend and I got my miles and I flew Starlux, I stopped using them. But I think I'm going to start using them again because my Player 3's moving and she's going to be paying rent.
No, you're going to be paying rent.
No, she's going to be paying rent. And Alaska Airlines has this partnership with Bilt where you can earn 3 Alaska miles per dollar spent on rent. If you have an Alaska card, you pay your rent with Alaska card, but all you have to do is link your Bilt account with your Alaska credit card and pay your rent using that credit card. Now, there is a catch that you have to pay a 3% fee to pay your rent. So this is a real life scenario for me now. I think I'm going to be helping her pay her rent with my credit card. Rent in LA is a little expensive, and we're looking probably about $1,500 a month for a studio for her. So she could be earning 4,500 Alaska miles per month just by paying her rent. Now, she does not have to get a Bilt card. I don't need to have a Bilt card. I don't have a Bilt card. But as long as I link my Alaska Airlines credit card to my Bilt account, and a Bilt account is free for everybody to create, 4,500 miles is actually pretty good because that is the exact amount of Alaska miles that I need for a one-way flight between LA and El Paso on American Airlines. And we'll talk about sweet spots later on. But just by paying her rent, she could get a one-way flight back home. So every 2 months, it's a round trip just by paying her rent. The 3% fee on $1,500 in rent per month comes out to $45 per month. Now, is that worth paying to earn 4,500 Alaska miles per month? In my perspective, yes, that is essentially paying 1 cent per mile to buy these Alaska miles. Because if you don't use a credit card for the rent, you're not paying these $45 a month, but you're also not getting 4,500 Alaska miles per month. So I think it makes sense for our situation, especially because we know exactly what you could be redeeming these 4,500 miles for, a one-way flight back home every other month.
I love the way that you set that up, Miguel, because $45 a month that you're paying for these miles to get this ticket that goes from El Paso to Los Angeles. So what is the cost of that fare between that market? Because you're already thinking ahead of what you're going to do with those miles. And then obviously that ticket's going to be probably way more than $45. So that's a great deal, I think.
Yeah, plus $45 is like what? 2 drinks at Erewhon anyways? You can totally skip that.
That's right.
2 milkshakes, or what do they call? What do they have? Smoothies.
That sounds like a great deal, Miguel. Now, what if you were to buy those 4,500 miles instead? Because another way to earn Alaska miles is to buy them. And I know you've bought miles in the past. How much would that cost?
It depends on the promotion, but last time I did buy some Alaska miles for this particular redemption, and it was about $120 for the 4,500 miles that I needed for the redemption. So this is about half the cost of that. There is a partner booking fee with Alaska, so it's not the $5.60 that we're used to on domestic flights. I think it comes out to about $19. So if you're going all in, you're talking about a $65 that you're paying out of pocket for each flight to come back home. But I mean, these are almost $200 flights that Americans sells this route for.
To recap, you're spending $45 to get these 4,500 Alaska miles through Bilt, and you're using those miles to book American Airlines to and from home in LA, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's a great deal.
And that's cheaper than Frontier. And she does have the Aviator card from American, so then she'd get free bags anyway. So it's cheaper than Frontier, cheaper than Southwest. I mean, she can come back home for less than $120 round trip. One thing about this Alaska and Bilt partnership is that the maximum rent that you can earn 3 Alaska miles per dollar for is $50,000 a year. So just have that in mind. If you spend more than $50,000 a year on rent, that is where the cap is for earning 3 miles. After that, you would only earn 1 mile per dollar.
I love that Bank of America is offering these cards with Alaska Airlines, but I hate the interface for Bank of America. It is a pain in my tuchus every month, especially with the business card, the corporate account. With Bank of America, you have 2 accounts that you have to pay, right? Or they split your account into 2 parts. One is a corporate account, one is a credit card account. I never remember which one is which. And if you pay to the wrong one, it takes like 30 days for the payment to post. It's just a hot ghetto mess. I don't know why it's necessary. Just know that when you get your Alaska card, especially the business card, it's not like a Chase card, not like American Express. It's just a hot dumpster fire.
All right, enough whining for this show.
Wait, I have to whine about something else too.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, one more whine.
Well, thank you. If you open a Bank of America business card, one of these Alaska ones, and if you're an existing Alaska mileage plan member, no matter how many times you check and double check and you add your mileage plan number to these applications, the miles are not going to go into your existing account. For some reason, they're going to open another account for you and dump those miles there. And then you have to call Alaska to merge these 2 accounts.
Hot dumpster fire.
That happened to all you too, right?
Yes.
But it's still worth it, right? For the miles we're getting.
Of course. We still do it.
Yeah. So in addition to American Express and Bank of America, you can also earn Alaska miles through Bilt. So whether it is that you have the Bilt card and you're spending money on the card, or like Miguel, you're paying rent for your Player 3, even if you don't have a Bilt card, you can still create a Bilt account and earn a few points there and then transfer those to Alaska. The issue with Bilt is they don't offer a lot of point earning ability. As we talked about in our last episode, they have capped the rent day promotion to how many points was it, Miguel?
1,000? No, or was it 10,000? I don't know.
No, it was 1,000. That is ghetto. Bilt doesn't have any sign-up bonuses, so it's also not a great place to earn a mass of Alaska points. Now, Mitch has another dumpster fire of how you can earn Alaska points.
I think dumpster fire is being kind. Back in the SPG days, it wasn't a bad deal, but now that it's Marriott. So if you decide to go down this path and you transfer 60,000 Marriott points, which you could do a lot better getting like one of those those Marriott Moments packages, whatever. You would then transfer those over to Alaska, and the 60,000 would turn into 20,000, but they give you an additional 5,000 bonus. So is 60,000 Marriott points into 25,000 Alaska points worth it?
Meh.
Yes, dumpster fire, Nicole. It is.
Yeah, probably not worth it. But I think if you're sitting on a lot of Marriott points and you don't know what to do with them, you might as well do something with them, like transfer them to Alaska and book Starlux, right?
I mean, I would also caution though, those transfers are not immediate. It takes a while for those points to get over from Marriott to Alaska too. So add that into your equation.
So we talked about a lot of the good ways that we use to earn Alaska miles, but there are also some other ways you can earn Alaska miles as well. You can earn miles through their hotel and rental car partners. They have the mileage plan dining, where you can earn Alaska miles by dining. And then they have the mileage plan shopping portal, and they have card linked shopping offers. So there are a lot of different ways that you can earn Alaska miles, but for us, it seems like earning the welcome offer on the credit cards is our favorite way to earn Alaska miles.
It's our favorite way to earn all the miles.
Very true.
So now you've earned all these miles. We got to do something with them before they devalue, right, Miguel?
Earn and burn.
Earn and burn. So we're going to tell you about some of the sweet spots where you can burn these Alaska miles. First, we're going to start off with the short haul sweet spots. And Alaska is amazing for booking short haul American Airlines flights. So for example, from Miami to DFW, I can find flights for around 7,500 miles. Sometimes you can find them for even less. Since Alaska is a distance-based program, you can get really good redemption using their miles to book American Airlines flights. You can book short haul flights from Miami to Cancun. Miguel books El Paso to Los Angeles quite frequently. And you can even get flights from Dallas to Mexico City.
So the short haul routes are very exciting and cost very little Alaska miles. But we personally like to use our Alaska miles for the long haul routes, especially on Alaska partner airlines. So Alaska is part of the One World group, and those includes airlines like Cathay Pacific, Japan Airlines, and Qantas. Non-alliance partners include Aer Lingus, Condor, Starlux, Icelandair, Korean Air, Singapore, and many more. So now we're going to be talking about all the sweet spots for using Alaska miles on airlines like these.
Now, let's talk about the beauty of Alaska miles.
Starlux!
A favorite sweet spot of this group is Starlux. 3 out of 4 have already flown Starlux, and one late bloomer is booked to fly Starlux later next year.
Oh, yay! I'm excited for you.
I'm excited for the boba.
So the boba you only get from Asia coming home. Are you on that route?
That's the route I'm on.
Okay, just want to make
I learned from this group.
Should that be for the show?
She watched the episode.
I know what seat number to book because I checked the highlights, you know?
Really? You watched the show, Nicole? Episode 45?
I did. I did put it on ×2, but I watched it. Because I needed to know what was the perfect seat to book.
And you need to pre-order your meal.
So I'm flying from Taipei to LAX, and it was 75,000 Alaska miles. And I earned those miles from the sign-up bonus on the business credit card from Bank of America. So I will get to see the Galactic Lounge, which I hear it's, not that big of a deal, but at least I get to see it. I'll have boba coming back, and I learned that I need to fly an Asian airline leaving from Asia back to the United States. How did I do? Did I do good?
A+.
Yeah, I think you watched our episode. That's episode 45, our Starlux review. Right after Miguel and I flew it.
Serena talked about booking Q suites earlier in the episode, but today I made a new discovery. I mean, it's not new to the world. It's just new to me. Flying Condor from Frankfurt back to the United States. So Condor is a leisure airline, and they fly to many different destinations in North America, even some of the smaller airports. But they do have a direct flight from Frankfurt to Miami. And I booked that with 55,000 American Express points.
Nicole, you must have not watched that episode when we talked about business class sweet spots because I flew Condor back home as well.
Like I said, it's new to me. Okay? I watched that episode. That's why I knew to book it.
All I remember is they had a very cute little salt and pepper shaker. That's all I remember.
Oh, don't remind me. Sorry.
And the blanket I heard was really good. Remember?
Very nice.
Yeah, Condor's also on my list because they have an all-new fleet of A330neos, and the business class looks pretty nice. I mean, we saw it when Serena flew it, but those smaller airports that you're talking about, some of them are interesting. They fly between Frankfurt and San Antonio, Las Vegas, Portland, Cancun, and Halifax if you fly out of there. But some of these other are more interesting to me, like Phoenix and San Antonio, because they're closer to me in the Southwest. We don't get a lot of cool flights to Europe or anywhere really. So I think those are interesting. You know, it's easy for me to take a positioning flight to San Antonio or Phoenix or even Vegas. So those are pretty cool, I think.
Miguel, when you fly, you're going to have to grab me a salt and pepper shaker.
I'll grab you an extra one.
Several.
Thank you.
Another reason I love Condor is there's lots of availability. Today in my search, I found 6 seats from Frankfurt to Miami. If you watch episode 70, our family travel episode, you will notice that we're booking for 4, 5, sometimes 6 people in business class. So this is definitely one of those airlines that you'd like to use to book your trip for your family.
That's exciting, Nicole.
Condor is a leisure airline, so they fly to a lot of vacation destinations, such as the Maldives. So I was hoping to find a flight back, but it can be pretty seasonal. So definitely check the routing and see what time of year they'll be flying to certain destinations. Some other notable sweet spots. Serena talked about flying Qatar business class, Japan Airlines from Seattle to Tokyo, starting at 60,000 miles. Fiji Airways, starting at 75,000 miles in business and 38,000 in economy. And if you can find the availability, Qantas within Australia, 15,000 for business class and 7,000 for economy. And one of the ones that are not talked about a lot is flying LATAM from Miami to Santiago, Chile for 50,000 in business class. I believe, Mitch, didn't you fly LATAM recently? Or I felt like that was recent, but not so recent.
Yeah, it was a little over a year ago. And then back then it was only 45,000 points. I went from Los Angeles all the way down to Santiago, Chile back then. So that's still a pretty good deal for 50,000.
It's one of the better refreshes.
Okay, another one that I found that I actually kind of stumbled into. You guys remember our meetup in Chicago, right?
How could we forget? No. It was almost on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's right. Almost on the East Coast. So my husband at the time, Porrit.
At the time.
Wait, he's not your husband anymore?
Whoa, I was okay.
What?
My husband at the time, but I'm a new one now.
Let me try that again.
And I'm going to get 30 cards with this new husband.
Exactly.
Need a clean slate.
We're keeping this.
We should all do that. Play your tools with expiration.
Think of all the credit cards I could get with that new husband. That is just endless. Okay, so at the time, he was going to go back to Europe, possibly for tennis. So I actually kind of stumbled into this one. It was from Chicago to Dublin, then on to London Heathrow, and it was only 45,000 points one way at about $21 in taxes and fees. That's a steal to get to Europe if you're kind of on the East Coast on Aer Lingus. 45,000 points one way in business.
It's so cheap. You could take both of your husbands, the new one and the old one.
Also, a great deal is you can use Alaska Miles to book business class within Asia for only 15,000 miles. And we haven't mentioned this yet, but we have a trip planned for next year in Asia. And maybe we should use some Alaska Miles to book some of this.
Already did.
That includes Starlux.
Did you use Alaska Miles?
I did use Alaska Miles, and I've got a way booked back from our trip already. But if I'm going to do it or not, I'm not sure, but I have it booked.
Okay, you got to share with us afterwards.
Did you book your trip to Mexico yet? Leaving it there.
It's an order of his excitement level.
That's right.
Bitch, you don't have your trip booked? That's like in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah, I got to work on that, huh?
Have you decided your hotel?
He probably has like 3 booked.
I do.
Just in case.
I was looking at that. Oh my God, that's all I did this weekend was trying to figure all these trips out. What we're going to do.
These are good problems to have.
How lucky are we?
No, this is high on the hog problems. High on the hog.
High on the hog.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Enough about hogs. This is an Alaska show.
There's going to be a lot of hogs in Mexico if we eat carnitas, so.
Those are some great sweet spots. What are some ways where we can maximize our Alaska miles?
There are some great rules when it comes to their mileage plan program when you're going to book these awards. So the first one is probably one of my favorites, and I just used it last night. I'm so excited about it. It's their stopover, free stopovers. So with the Alaska Airlines mileage plan program, they're very generous when it comes to stopovers. So, but there are a couple of rules to be mindful of. So first, you got to be flying on an international itinerary if you're going to have one of these stopovers. So that's just something there to keep in mind. Most of the stopovers are limited to some of their partner hubs. So one example might be flying Finnair through Helsinki. Other examples are like London, Qatar Airways, and Doha. Or maybe you might want to stop over in Taipei, for example, if you're flying Starlux Airlines. That's a couple of ways to get those free stopovers. Now, each one-way trip can have a stopover. If you got a round trip award, you're going to get 2 free stopovers. No matter how you book it, if you book one way or round trip, but it's always probably best to book one-way awards just in case you need to cancel something or something changes. The other thing is you cannot fly more than one partner airline on that stopover, and not all the flights are available. You're going to be able to find with a stopover as well. So booking a stopover with Alaska Airlines, you just go to their website, alaskaair.com, and you start searching. And here's how I normally do it. I don't know if it's the easy way or the best way, but this is what I do. So if I know where I want to stop over, so let's say I want to stop over in Taipei, I would first look for my departure city. Let's say I'm going to leave from Bangkok, and then I would find that first flight to go from Bangkok to Taipei. And then once I find that award space, then I'm going to look for my second flight, wherever that might be, from Taipei to Los Angeles. So once I find that, I go back to the main page and click on multi-city search. And then I go in and I punch in that first flight from Bangkok to Taipei on the date that I found that award space. Then I will punch in the second flight, Taipei to Los Angeles, and I will punch that in, book, and then it shows me the free stopover right there. So I don't know if that's the best way to look for these stopover awards on Alaska, but that's how I do it, and that might be how I found one.
I think the stopover benefit is so great. And another thing is it doesn't have to be in the same trip.
I know Air Canada's Aeroplan program offers a stopover as well, but for that one, you have to pay an additional 5,000 points or miles for that stopover. And then they also have a restriction where your stopover cannot be in North America. So this Alaska Airlines stopover is a much better deal than Air Canada's program. But for these stopovers, if I'm doing a long haul, I'd probably look for that one first because those are harder to find unless, of course, you use Seats.aero and look in the show notes for our code if you want to get a discount. But after that, then I would look for a connecting flight, whether it's at your destination or coming back home and doing a stopover to somewhere else. That stopover does have to be under a year, though. So it doesn't have to be the same trip that you're actually taking, but it does have to be under a year.
And I think we have 2 of our youngest Seats.aero users right now. Can we show them, Miguel? Is this okay?
Yeah, coming in.
Oh my gosh, look how cute.
Woo!
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh my
Nice
God.
shirts. I love it. Miguel,
Look at
how'd you get all those?
Chicago seminars. They were left over, the small size.
Oh.
Took like the last 2, they were small. Remember that?
Looks so good. You know, it'd be so cool if the whole family wore that shirt on the flight.
Yeah. Can I show Serena, Mitch, and Nicole my Seats.aero shirt? Yes, please.
This was under the door. That's why I had to.
So good. And
right,
here
you
are
guys
some
go.
other award booking tips when you are using Alaska Miles. When traveling within Asia, you cannot redeem miles within 72 hours of departure. So you want to be mindful of that. For change in cancellation fees, there is a non-refundable $12.50 award booking fee for partner redemptions. There is no change or cancellation fee, but you will not get the $12.50 back on your partner redemptions when you cancel. But if you were to change an award ticket, you will not have to pay an extra $12.50 again. When you book by phone, there will be a $15 service fee, and then you cannot put award tickets on hold like you can do with American Airlines. And also good news, Alaska Miles do not expire. Alaska has an award calendar on their website that's very helpful when you're looking to book award tickets. And also Alaska shows mixed cabin tickets when you're searching. And sometimes the domestic leg in the US is the first class leg. And then your long haul leg will be an economy. So you want to be very careful to check the itinerary to make sure that you have the long haul in business class when you're booking. And this is especially true when you're using the Alaska Airlines app. One of the things that we're looking forward to is Alaska is going to allow us to book an award ticket one way, mixing two partner airlines. So for example, we could fly from the West Coast, Taipei and Starlux, and maybe fly Malaysia Airlines from Taipei to Kuala Lumpur. That could be possible in the future, and that's slated to be available later this year. For right now, we cannot mix two different partners in an award booking. You can only have one partner and an Alaska Airlines flight if you wanted to fly two different airlines.
Did you hear that, Mitch? You can only have one partner.
Oh, good note. Good note.
Maybe later this year you can have two.
That'd be nice. The other thing too, Serena, real quick, is that Oman Air Awards are now available to book on AlaskaAir.com too. So you just flew Oman and you've inspired me because I want to fly them too.
Oh my God, I have so much homework to do now.
A lot.
You know, okay, so we put that in our newsletter that Oman Air is now bookable with Alaska Miles. And that's very important because it's very difficult to book them. I booked them last time using Air Canada Aeroplan miles. So it's very exciting to have another way to book Oman Air. And I had a wonderful time in their business class. I had a long 18-hour layover in their lounge. I just saw that lounge the other day when I was passing through the airport. And I thought, oh, memories. I hope to make it back one day. And my mom said, if I'm flying Oman Air to grab her a blanket, I'm like, sorry, I can't fly. I'm not flying that this time. But I really want to again.
Let's talk about one of my favorite topics, elite status. I like getting upgraded when I fly. Alaska Airlines has one of the last few remaining programs that is distance-based, which means that you earn status based on how many miles you're flying. Most airlines are moving to a program where you earn status based on how much money you spend on their credit cards or how much you spend on their tickets. But Alaska, you can earn status depending on how many miles you fly. They're called elite qualifying miles. Alaska Airlines has 4 levels of elite status. That's MVP, MVP Gold 75K, and then MVP Gold 100K. Some of the flight benefits that you get with Alaska Elite status are upgrades to their first class, to their premium class, and that includes upgrades for your companions if you're at MVP Gold or above, and complimentary premium beverages. Now, for those upgrades, they start clearing at 48 hours prior to departure for MVP, at 72 hours prior to departure for MVP Gold, and at 120 hours before departure if you have MVP Gold 75K or 100K. Priority check-in and boarding, free checked bags, preferred seating, express security at select airports, and an Alaska Lounge membership discount. If you fly Alaska, you also earn more miles every time you fly. You get a 50% bonus for MVP, 100% bonus for MVP Gold, 125% for MVP Gold 75K, and 150% bonus for MVP Gold. Those elite bonus miles are for the rest of 2024. Beginning in January 2025, most of those earning rates will go down. If you get to MVP Gold 100, you also get a 100K choice benefit, where you get to choose from either 50,000 Alaska redeemable miles, an Alaska Lounge Plus membership. You can gift MVP Gold status to one of us, free Wi-Fi on all your flights, or a complimentary Clear Plus membership. Because Alaska Airlines is part of One World, Alaska Elite status does transfer over to One World status. That translates to One World Ruby. If you have MVP Gold, that translates to One World Sapphire. And if you have MVP Gold 75K or 100K, that translates into One World Emerald. And Alaska, just like they have a distance-based award chart, they also use a distance-based program for you to earn elite status. That means that if you find a good discounted fare, especially in business class, you could earn elite status fairly quickly and easier than with other programs.
I agree, Miguel. One of the last distance-based award redemption and earnings with Alaska Airlines is pretty powerful because you don't see that a lot anymore. So before we wrap up tonight, we asked the question, is this the best program for your miles earning? Good question, right? How about we answer with what we love about Alaska Airlines and their mileage plan program? So Serena, what is your favorite thing about the Alaska Airlines mileage plan program?
I love how there are so many different One World partners and non-alliance partners that you can use Alaska Miles to book. And I love the great value that they give you. And Alaska Miles are so special that they are one of the few airline miles that I actually make an effort to accumulate along with American Airlines. American Airlines, Alaska Airlines are the only two airline programs that I actually want to collect miles for, in addition to all my other flexible currencies. How about you, Miguel?
Well, I mean, I was going to say the same thing, the partners, because they have, just like Air Canada has a lot of other partners that are not part of their alliance, you know, they have some special partners, and I think that's great. The Stopover program's great. You can get complimentary upgrades on Alaska if you have American status. So I don't fly Alaska very often, but when I do fly Alaska, I am hoping to maybe get upgraded on Alaska. I don't know. I heard you get chocolate as a MVP 100K member.
Is it a full-size chocolate bar?
I don't know. That's just kind of weird that they have free chocolate for 100K members. But hey, you know, I'm going to ask for mine. Well, I'm not 100K. I don't know if my American status would translate into that. Maybe they have some extra ones. But if I have to narrow it down to my favorite thing, I would say that this Hawaiian merger, I'm really loving, because that just opens a whole new place for me to earn Alaska miles and book these cool flights. What about you, Nicole?
I only have one word, 4 letters, Amex. That's it. Over and out. That's what I love. I mean, you guys covered it all, but having the ability to transfer from American Express to Alaska Airlines equals all of these partners. I love it. I think this is the best earning, burning opportunity that has been presented to us this year.
I hope for you, Nicole, that this American Express transfer to Hawaiian Airlines lasts for a while longer.
At least until my next 250,000 bonus points post. How about you, Mitch?
I agree with everything that everyone said. I think it's exciting that they merged with Hawaiian because, just like you said, Miguel, bunch new places to go. But I think for me, what I really love about the Alaska Airlines mileage program is a lot of these carriers are these Asian carriers. And we all know that these Asian carriers are much more nicer and better to fly. And that's why I like it, is because I can fly some of these carriers like Cathay, Japan Airlines, Starlux. Those are my favorite airlines to fly, and I can book those through the Alaska Airlines mileage program. So that is my favorite part about that. All right, what is your favorite part? We want to know, what do you like about Alaska Airlines mileage plan program? Or maybe there's something we missed. Leave it in the comments below. Let us know what you think about this episode, about Alaska Airlines, and what are some of your favorite things. And if you are excited about the Alaska Airlines merger with Hawaiian as well. That's it for now, and I want to thank all of our hosts. It's Serena.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Miguel.
Later.
And we're going to see you next week with 0 American Express points, right, Nicole?
Probably. See you guys next week.
And I'm Mitch Shannon. Make sure you sign up for our email newsletter. We got great tips in there for you. Just snap the QR code right now on your screen or scan Miguel's hand. That's the best thing that you can do. Easiest way right there for everything going on in the points and miles world. And we're going to see you here next Friday. Thank you for watching and listening.
Let's get to the points.com.